Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Nacho Average Tabletop. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and today we're doing another episode of Try Before You Buy, where we try a game on Board Game Arena and let you know what we think, how it works on here. Something, I mean, these are games that you can go to Board Game Arena and try out. We're doing Sky Team today, which is a cooperative two-player game where you're trying to land a plane. And I'm a spoiler, I like this one quite a bit. And this was one
Yes.
at Gen Con, my first Gen Con I went to last year. This was one that I tried to get, and we were like one of the first in the door, and there was already a line of like 250, 300 people trying to get this game. And Michaela got there before I did, but she was still like so far back. I think they said like, "Oh, this far back in the line, you're not gonna get it." So, but luckily they brought it to Board Game Arena, so I've gotten a chance to try it, and yeah, we'll kind of talk about how it plays on here and what our
Yeah.
thoughts are on if we think maybe this is the better way to play it currently,
Yeah.
or if it's worth getting a physical copy.
Yeah. And as you can see here, it has scenarios. Oh boy, I just did the whole screen there. As scenarios, we are going with, I think, yeah, it says beginner. So one of
Yep,
the easiest scenarios, introductory scenarios here, they can get quite complicated. And we've played some pretty complicated ones.
we
But
have.
we might talk about that later. But there's a lot of options, but this will be the most basic form of the game.
Yep.
Got a welcome to it there to introduce you to the game. I don't know if I actually read that, so I cannot comment on if that was a good welcome or not. Uh, but yeah, the way the game works is it's a dice placement game, and see there are blue and orange spots on the board. The blue spots go to the pilot, and the orange spots go to the co-pilot to place dice in those places. For this game, I will select, or you are confirming roles, so I'll be the co-pilot in this one. That's what I have been playing recently, so I want to stick to what I'm used to.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so in this game, it starts out with each round, I think there's 7 rounds, and you start by having a little strategy discussion. It says not to discuss numbers in this phase, except for mentioning dice values, which we have broken that rule in the past, discussing kind
Right.
of if we get something where we want to put it. Um, but yeah, so it's kind of a limited communication game. Otherwise, you just have a little strategy of what you want to do for the round, uh, where you might want to place dice. And then after that, you say, "You ready?" And it is limited communication, but you can see my board for this example, but might have it that way for this first round, possibly. I'm not sure how easy it is to manage on your screen.
Yeah, I just have to not look at the
Look at my
current call,
values.
but I can.
It's
I
okay for
will I
this.
will not look at yours, but yeah. So yeah, essentially what you're going to be doing is going back and forth and placing these numbers in the various spots,
Yes.
and they all do slightly different things. And there's a couple that are required each round that
Yes.
we
So
both
you
have
guys
to place.
see these little exclamation points that are blinking on the board. So you have controlling the axis and kind of the way the plane is tilted with the wings. We each will be applying one to those every round, and based on who has the higher number and lower number, the plane will tilt in that direction. And you do not want it to tilt too far to either direction, otherwise you crash and lose the game. And then right below that, you kind of have this uh, track of numbers 2 through 12. Similarly, we each apply a die to that, and then the sum of the dice determines where you are on that track. And based on the blue and orange tracker on that track, if we are lower than the blue, we don't move forward on this uh, travel track here on the left. We don't move forward at all if our speed is too low. If we are between the blue and the orange marker, we move one space up that track. And if we are to the right of the orange, we will move 2 spaces up that track. And on that track, you can see there are planes. And I guess, I don't know what the term is, actually. I guess it might list it
I
here.
think I think you're like trying to be
Radio.
dispatch radio, trying to
You're
get them out of the way.
radioing, communicating with the control tower to clear the traffic on your approach path. So you are calling them, saying, get these planes out of the way, placing dice over there, and then, so if I place a 4 over there, we go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the 4th spot on this track and remove a plane from that spot. Because if you are moving up that track and there's planes in the spots you move into, you crash and you lose the game. We may refer to it as shooting down those planes. We've just watched too many action movies in our lifetime, and that's what we think of. We watched Top Gun too many times.
Yep. Well, you kind of think of it a little bit more cinematically, maybe in that way. Got to get them out of the way before we land, apparently, as a fighter jet.
Yes. And some other things we can do on we each have a side here. So over here, you are deploying the brakes, I believe, or not the brakes, the wheels of the plane, landing gear. So you'll have to, and you can do yours in either order, a 1 or a 2 to go to that spot, 3 to 4, or 5 or 6 in those ones. And at the end of the game, all of those have to be deployed. Similarly, with over on the right side here, I, with my orange dice, have to go in order these 4 dice to deploy all of these flaps by the end of the game. And then the brakes as well don't have to be deployed all the way, but it does help in the final round, which our speed will have to be lower than where we are on this brake track.
Yep. And the wheels and the flaps kind of adjust those blue and orange markers as well.
Yep.
So, and anytime we complete anything, so in the middle sections, they need both of us to add it. But anytime we add the dice anywhere where it completely fills in that action, so to say, it will happen immediately. So if we needed to get a plane out of the way, we'd have to do that potentially before we move forward with those ones. So it'll all happen
once
right
you
once
lock
we
in your
activate it.
speed.
It doesn't wait until the end.
You move immediately. So get that plane out of the way first.
Right. So we'll maybe go through one round quick, and then we will
talk about
talk a little bit what our thoughts are, and then we'll finish up with the rest of playing through the game.
Yep. So, okay, so then he will get to place dice. I don't know what his dice are. He's probably accidentally seen my values here.
I wasn't paying too close of attention, luckily.
But yeah, it's a very long board, hard to get onto the full screen. I don't know if it's better if I like zoom out completely. You can actually see it very well. You don't need to see all the way up that track.
Yeah, we're not going to be going up there that quickly. Too many planes in the way.
Too many planes.
Let's see.
They say you can have discussion about other things during this time, but
so you can talk about the weather, talk about the weather. Sports talk.
Just don't sneak any secret code into your conversation.
Exactly.
In sporting, the orange team scored 5 points.
So you can see I could play a 6 in the engine. So now if Jesse played anything on there, it would move our plane. Well, because we've already got at least 6, which is going to move us.
Communicated via radio to get that plane out of the way.
That's true. Oh boy.
So hard to not comment on things.
It is. Otherwise, it's just silence. But I guess can comment on some of the other things while we're playing the easy mode. There's kind of a module which I feel like has maybe been the toughest thing. Is it being timed? Is one. But I think that also makes it really exciting because if you don't get all your dice played by the end of that, you just don't get them played. And if you don't fill in those middle zones, you lose.
Now you see there we moved 2 spaces because our sum was quite high there, quite high. And also, now that we moved 2 spaces on that track, we are actually further on the, I don't know what they're referred to, those 2 tracks. This is our altitude on the right and kind of distance or whatever on the left. And you want those to also arrive at the same time at the end. So if we just fly through this whole track and our altitude's way too high, then we lose the game. The altitude hits the ground before we're at our destination, we also lose the game. So you got to keep those balanced. You can't just rush through things.
As you've maybe figured out at this point, there are many ways to lose the game.
There are many.
But yeah, oh, another thing, I don't know if you saw mine, but I played down in the bottom pieces. We didn't really talk about those. Those can be taken by any player, and it gives us a little coffee mug, which allows you to adjust a die
Yes.
by one value.
Yep, which I just did there to not tip over the plane and crash. But it is very much tilted to the right currently.
Yes. And another thing, you can probably see Jesse has the option to re-roll dice. You'd probably typically want to do that early on because both players get to re-roll as many dice as they choose to. We didn't do it there. I maybe should have done it just based on the dice that I got.
I was thinking about doing it too because I had a lot of high numbers.
Yeah, I had the 6-1-2-1, and
yeah,
that wasn't really the greatest for the first round.
Yeah, it was like it works, but it was it was a very extreme round. So now we can talk totally about that. It's a very extreme round. You having a low one in the tilt, the axis. I was like, it's not good. My lowest is a 4, which still busts us, and we would lose. Luckily, we did get a coffee cup there to adjust that, but still very precarious situation. And we actually moved 2 spaces because of our high numbers. So that might have been a good time to re-roll all those dice. But we made it, and we saved that for later. But yeah, that's a little bit of the gameplay here. How do you think it manages everything?
I really think the board game arena, being able to kind of automate it, manages everything really well. It kind of, in a way, reminds you immediately that, yep, once you do this, that plane's immediately turning on its side, or once you do this, it's immediately going forward. I think those are probably the biggest two. The rest of it, like I
Yes.
feel like when you're calling, radioing down the planes or getting them out of the way, that is probably an easy thing you would remember whether you had it on the tabletop or not.
Yeah.
But the actual moving the plane forward and stuff, you might just kind of sort of forget, especially since it takes both people's die. And the board game arena thing just does it immediately, so it's not something you're ever going to forget.
Yeah, because we came back to the game after playing it a while, after a little break, and I don't think we remembered that it actually did that immediately. And then it was like, oh, so in person, would have completely forgotten that rule, but it did remind us, thankfully, and just like, yeah, all the little things happening immediately, moving those little markers on the speed track, remembering to do that every time you do one of those and know that it is connected with the flaps and the brakes, just manages it perfectly.
Yeah, and in this mode, outside of if you're playing like we currently are, and I could see his screen, it's definitely a lot easier to hide your dice versus a screen. I don't know. I haven't played the physical copy of this one, so I don't know if the screens are good. I know some games have better screens than others, but some are kind of a little finicky sometimes, and they're just kind of, I don't know, they tip over very easily. Because this one is not that way, it probably doesn't matter, but this makes it very easy to hide your dice from the person that you're playing with. Keep them hidden.
Yeah. I still think it would be good in person too, as well as a nice little simulator game. I don't think it's too hard, but I mean, we don't have experience with it, so it's hard to say actually if it would be easy to remember those little things. As long as you just really make an effort to remember it, I think you should be able to get it down after a game or two. But as you get to the more complicated scenarios, possibly even having a timer in there, I think that it is very helpful to have
Yes.
the game figuring these things out for you because I can't imagine having to manage the game and manage the effects from your dice placement as well as thinking out the strategy in that scenario.
Right. Because yeah, we already with that, I feel like we already almost always like come down to the wire of a couple seconds left. So if we were actually having to move up those red and orange pieces or move slide down that, I don't
Yeah.
know either in person how easily those slide up and down.
Oh,
I assume they must do it pretty well. But yeah, that's another thing. Sometimes when you're sliding things together, I don't know, might have some I don't know, gripping or
yeah.
I don't know, resistance possibly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
once you start adding those scenarios, and there's another one where you are your fuel and stuff, trying to
Oh, yeah.
manage
You
that.
gotta have gasoline. Yeah.
There's
And
you
there,
have to compare some things in that case, and
yeah.
this
Yeah,
just
that can
takes
be
care
tough.
of that. So yeah, once you start adding some of those extra layers, I think this definitely helps you manage it a little bit more. But it
Yeah.
could, I think I agree with you that it could be done. And I have been tempted by the physical copy of this one almost every time I see it. So it's definitely not like, oh, I would only ever play it this way. But uh, I just haven't pulled the trigger on the physical copy just because of how well this implements it. So
Yeah.
I would say definitely this is worth trying for sure because it's a great experience. You're going to understand how to play it, and
Mhm.
it takes care of everything for you. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, I would.
Yeah. I think it's a great version. I think this should be probably, as long as it's on here and available,
Yeah.
the best way to play it, I would say. Uh,
Mhm.
but I mean, there are some people who just don't really enjoy or connect with games as much online or on a digital platform, and I think it's still pretty would be a pretty good game for them as well. And I
Mhm.
think that's probably one of the reasons that you would get it. I know Michaela is not as into playing games online, and to get this
Mhm.
experience for her, I think a physical version would do pretty well too. I just don't know if it would be as easy, like we said, to explore all the extra scenarios, things like that, sadly.
Yeah, I would agree. That would be the only thing that I would have any worries about. But otherwise, I think it would all play out really well. But yeah, this one I highly recommend trying. It's probably when did we first play this? We played this last year.
Oh, yeah, like in the fall or
Was it in my top 10 of last year? New to me.
I think it was. I think it was. I
If it
think it might
wasn't,
have
it
been
should
in
have
both
been.
of us. It should be, for sure. We
It's
played
a
it
great
more
game.
since, and I've loved it. It's a great game and a great implementation. I guess I don't know if we're supposed to review the game at all here, but it is a fantastic game and has lived up to the hype, and the implementation is fantastic here.
Hmm. I agree, and you can easily do change up the scenarios in this as well.
Yeah,
So that's something too that would maybe take a little bit more time if you were doing different ones. And I don't know what the actual physical game if it has all of those or if it has all those options in the rule book. I'm not sure how that works, but
yeah, I think they might have
um,
a website with additional ones, possibly,
yeah.
or online somewhere where they've made more. I think
But this
you
one, the
said,
setup's almost nothing.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, no, here you can go.
I was gonna, yeah, just say that. Yeah, I think this is a great implementation. Definitely try it out. And yeah, what you got to say, Pepper?
That was pretty much all I had to say. That was our thoughts on this implementation. Fantastic implementation. Check it out. Try it before you buy it, and you might just love it enough here. Yeah, it's good enough for you. But yeah,
I agree.
those are our thoughts, and we will finish out the playthrough now. So if you just wanted to see the playthrough, you'll hopefully have hit the link to this timestamp in the description. And here, you missed the first round, sadly, but you will
Yes,
get to see the rest of the gameplay here as we have to balance everything that we messed up in this
and if
first
you
round.
and if you're leaving before you leave, please give us a thumbs up and
Oh
subscribe so
yes,
you can see future Try Before You Buys where we try out other games on Board Game Arena. And definitely in the comments below, if you're interested in any games that you know are on Board Game Arena and you haven't tried them, let us know. We can give those ones a try and make another video on those. But
yeah,
yeah,
sure.
otherwise we'll get into this second round here.
Yeah, we need to balance this plane back out, and we need to
Get rid of some
Need to
planes,
get rid of
possibly
shoot
slow
down some
down,
planes. Shoot down some planes.
as we say.
Say it unapologetically. Uh, Probably move just one space or not. We can throw a low note. I don't know how much we can actually talk about.
We
Don't have
can,
to go too fast this time.
yeah, we can wait.
Oh boy. Okay. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to fix my screen here. Okay, we are going to have to sit still in one of these rooms. That's a little strategy, but it's obvious strategy, so I'll say it.
That's true.
Um,
Hmm.
okay. But got a good amount of planes there. Gotta
That
get
was a
that.
pretty good round.
Gotta maybe get some more planes and gotta work on some flaps here.
You need to
So
work on
I gotta
flaps.
work on the flaps. So I'm gonna need some low numbers. Okay. Should be good. Don't have to move too fast. Ooh, oh, he's re-rolling. Okay.
We'll have to see if Pepper re-rolls any.
Yeah. I'll re-roll some.
But there we showed how that works. He has the first re-roll.
Trying to place the die, and I'm like, why isn't it placing?
What's going on here? And I will say, I think this version, if this is the only time you're watching a playthrough of it, this is definitely the easiest of easies. We just replayed this one just to remember what rules this one specifically had, and there are ways to definitely step this one up. If
Yeah,
you're looking at this and thinking, "Wow, this isn't difficult at
it's
all," there are definitely a lot of ways to uh, spice it up very
the
quickly.
special abilities that you can have. There's additional planes being thrown onto that track.
Mhm.
There's you have to be tilted a certain way to move through a certain
Oh,
point.
yep.
So
So yeah, you're
that's
not just managing that, but you're trying to get it into certain ways. Yeah, that too. Forgot about that one.
oh boy. Okay, you gotta get some landing gear down so we can go slower.
Oh, we'll get there. We will
I
get
gotta get some
there.
flaps. Oh my goodness.
That's what
It's,
really needs to happen.
it's the
You
planes.
quit focusing on me and you focus on yourself, you co-pilot. I'm in charge here. But luckily, like all pilots and co-pilots, we do not communicate at all when we're flying. Not about flying anyway. But we will talk about the weather.
High numbers. It's high numbers.
What's
Worried.
that?
I'm like, I better shoot down this plane just in case.
I know I was worried because I had all high numbers. I'm like, well, I gotta do the landing gear, and then I thought I was gonna have to get a cup of Joe.
But Joe,
That's what I thought I was gonna have to do to change my 4 to a 3.
yeah,
But
yeah, we're looking pretty good. We got the brakes
it
pretty
all worked
good. I
out.
just got to get my flaps and maybe sit still even.
There we go. I didn't got too much to do.
I ain't got much. Oh boy. Let's you roll like that.
And we took the last one down.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
It is crazy how something so simple can be so fun. Trying to
Yes.
manage all these things at once.
Got a 1 and a 6 there. So I'm like, well, either we move not at all or we move 2 spaces. Maybe lose the game.
Oh boy.
That coffee
But
cup worked out perfect, and I was able to get that flat.
that's true. But now we need a lot to move. Need those big numbers.
Dude, we're gonna need 8, 9. Hopefully, I can get that last flap. We can go 8 through
Well,
12.
luckily, I'm gonna be able to get us 2 cups of Joe.
Ah, that's true. You only
I got
need.
nothing else to do.
You got nothing else to do. Oh yeah.
Sitting around, as pilots are known to do while on the plane.
Beautiful, isn't it?
It really is beautiful. Now we're all lined up. The elevation is good on the right. We're lined up with that. So we finally got it back in alignment. And
so in the final round, we just have to be below the brakes. Oh boy, he hasn't upgraded the brakes.
oh shoot, I forgot about that one.
Should have used that 5.
Oh no.
Well, you can do it this time. You can do it
I
this
forgot
time.
about that. I did have something to do. Everyone watching is like, he has something to do. The brakes are
I
not
got
good.
nothing to do. But yeah, that so just upgrade those brakes, or if we can get 4 or below, we'll be fine as well. Otherwise, we
True.
just have to move forward now. Be even, no planes. We're good. You don't have to use all our dice or anything.
Nope. Oh, I think we do have to do the middle.
Maybe we
We must.
do have to get the brakes, or at least put in everything. Okay,
I did not realize that.
check down at these rules.
Yeah, we did align it last time we played.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There we
There,
go.
we're landing the plane.
It didn't matter.
Did we do it? Did we do it? Landed plane.
Victory
Drum roll.
conditions.
End of game. Victory. Now they see me not rate the BGG adaptation. Now I'll rank it a 5. I don't know. I just always assume they're gonna be like, write a full review, do all this. This is our review.
It's right here.
There we won the game. We were victorious, pretty easily victorious now that we are veterans at the game. I'm just glad you got to see us now and not playing one of the very hard scenarios where we are just pretty much crying and sweating as the time runs out.
As I'm screaming to Jesse, but there's no time left. Play the die.
Just get some
Even though I don't
coffee.
know. Even though I don't know that it's allowed. Ticking down to 3 seconds. Pepper taking every bit of that.
It is crazy how different that can make the game.
It really
if you want to
is.
see us play some harder scenarios than this, if you enjoyed it, then comment below, and we definitely like to. We love the game, and
Yeah, that's true.
do have
We'll
a
show
little
you.
experience with that.
We'll show you. We won't guarantee a win, but we'll show you those ones as well. But otherwise, we appreciate that you watched this far. If you did, like I said, like and subscribe. We love to continue to do these videos. Let us know if there are any you'd like to see, or yeah, if you'd like to see us do different scenarios for this game, we would love to do those as well. But otherwise, we hope to see you on our next video. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.